Hari Om. We now enter into the third parva, Vana parva. Vana means forest. The first two parvas were that we have covered so far are Adi parva and Sabha parva. So now Yudhishthir and all of his Pandava brothers, along with Draupadi, have agreed with going into the forest for 12 years and after that staying into 1 year of exile incognito. Remember, all of the Pandavas now have to figure out how they will arrange for food. In the forest, they cannot just start off with agriculture because it takes time for the crops to grow. Maybe they can eat some fruits, but we know how hungry can Bhima get, and he eats a lot. And so Yudhishthir started planning. Even if we go out for a few days of camping or a few days of tour, we start thinking of the food as the first thing for those few days when we are outside, which hotels we'll go to eat, etc. So food was a big deal for them to take care of if they had to spend 12 years in forest successfully. So Yudhishthir prays to Lord Sun. We all know Sun is what is responsible for all energy and food that grows on planet Earth. So he prays to Lord Sun to bless them with solving the food crisis that they came up with. So Lord Sun gives them Akshaya-patra. This was a divine vessel which starts giving food for unlimited amount until Draupadi ate, and then it will stop giving food after she ate, and it will start again giving food the following day. So this was a big help. Bhima needed a lot of food to eat. There were going to be lots of visitors when they were in the forest, and they had to take care of feeding them. So the key thing was it gives unlimited food until Draupadi eats, and after that the food doesn't come out until the following day. So that was the key limitation. It does not give food after Draupadi ate. And somehow Duryodhana found this out and he wanted to exploit this. So what he did was, when sage Durvasa came to Hastinapur, he actually pleased him so well by feeding him, by taking good care of him, and then eventually asked for a boon. And he says, "Why don't you also visit my cousins, Pandavas? They are in the nearby forest." And he very well knew that if Durvasa came after Draupadi had her food, that they would not be able to give Durvasa food. And if Durvasa went hungry, then he would curse Pandavas, and that's what he wanted. So that's what he did. He asked Durvasa to visit Pandavas. In the meanwhile, Dhritarashtra asks Vidura to go and find out how everyone is feeling about Duryodhana becoming the king and his behavior towards the public. Vidura came back and told that the situation was very bad, that the public, the people in the kingdom, felt that Pandavas were cheated and the behavior of Duryodhana was very bad. He used to abuse the public, take their wealth unnecessarily, and was not fair. And so it was a pretty sad place to be. And so Vidura, when he painted this picture to Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra got really angry, and he felt that as if Vidura was taking the side of Pandavas, and out of his anger, he actually told Vidura to go with the Pandavas to the forest because he felt that he was on their side. Vidura took that suggestion and went to the forest where Pandavas were there. He met Pandavas in Kamyaka forest and told them how bad the situation was in the kingdom. In the meanwhile, sage Maitreya visits Hastinapur after he learned about the recent events of the dice game. And he advises Duryodhana to reconcile with his cousins and atone all the bad things that he's done. Duryodhana was so egoistic, he actually held on to his thigh in anger. Durvasa and Maitreya sage Maitreya notices this and he curses Duryodhana and he says, "You will die in the battlefield after your thigh is being smashed." So he actually curses Duryodhana and advises him to stop doing the wrong things. Duryodhana also saw that Vidura went to Kamyaka forest, and he felt that Vidura is trying to now make some efforts to reconcile with his brothers. And so he felt a sense of insecurity and he started thinking, how do I kill my cousins in the forest? And so Vyasa came in and visited Dhritarashtra and told him to stop his son from these foolish actions. And he counseled him. Vyasa also goes and visits Pandavas and warns them to be careful while their stay is in forest. And he advises that there is a deeper reason why they are in the forest, why destiny led them to 12 years of exile, and that they needed to improve themselves, work on themselves, come out much stronger, much harmonious, establish themselves in peace, do austerity, penance, clear all the impurities that they have in this 12 years of exile. Vyasa also initiates Dhritarashtra into a secret smriti prapti, which means he gives them memory of what his soul is, what is his true nature, that the soul is universal in nature, and endowed him with unimaginable powers that he already had, which made impossible possible. So with some of these memories, Vyasa initiated Yudhishthir into stronger powers that came out of Yudhishthir and advised Yudhishthir to initiate Arjuna next. With this, Arjuna, when he recollected some of his real nature of him being a universal being, of all of his powers, he decided, with grace of Draupadi and Yudhishthir, he decided to go to Himalayas and practice more intense austerity. His mission was to please Lord Shiva and then to enter into heavenly world to attain celestial weapons, which would be necessary to guarantee victory in confrontation with the Kauravas in the future. So these visits of Vyasa had a huge impact of self-introspection, of gaining deeper powers that existed within the soul. Meanwhile, as per the promise, Durvasa actually visits the Pandavas. And on the way, Pandavas invite Durvasa to come and visit their hut for food. But by that time, Draupadi had already eaten and even washed the vessel. Durvasa says they'll go take some bath in the river and come in few minutes. Meanwhile, Draupadi got really fearful. How will she feed Durvasa? She saw a grain of rice in the pot and she saw that the pot is empty and that it would not generate any more food until the next day. So she prayed to Lord Shri Krishna for help. Shri Krishna was already on his way along with Drishtadyumna to find out how the Pandavas and Draupadi were doing. And so they appear right before Durvasa visits. And Draupadi started crying. She explained all that happened after the dice game, and Krishna was very sympathetic. But she also asked for help for the upcoming Durvasa and his team's visit for food. Krishna suggested that there is food in her vessel and that half a grain of rice is what Krishna ate. He felt full, and with the other half, Krishna fed the entire universe. Durvasa, while finishing, and his team of Swamis, when they were finishing their bath, they felt pretty full. And so now they were ashamed of going to Pandavas' hut for food, because if they denied food, that it would be bad. So they actually skipped totally visiting Pandavas and escaped from there. So Krishna not only saved Draupadi and Pandavas from the curse of Durvasa because of not being able to feed him, but also took along with him Subhadra and Abhimanyu and took care of them in his personal guidance back in Dwarka. And Dhritarashtra took the 5 sons of Draupadi, who were very young, along with him. There are a lot of deeper insights in these stories, as we saw that the adversities that the Pandavas faced, which was 12 years in exile, 1 year incognito, Yudhishthir took this as divine intervention to gain deeper purity, inner development opportunity for coming out stronger, and that's exactly what he did. Also, going to the forest is going inwards, where there are a lot of wild animals like anger, hate, greed, and we need to overcome all of that. At the same time, inside there's also a lot of positive forces like the saints, which advise us on our true nature, the peace that comes out, the feeling of contentment because of our purity that comes. This is an important thing that we all need to think of, to have an ability for introspection, an ability to go in, and taking all adversities as opportunities. And we will have sages like Vyasa who will visit us. It's the voice of our higher self when we are with us and we are introspecting. We'll get the secret memory of who we are, and we'll be able to actualize our potential. Thank you.